Okay, we are recording now, and it's 7:01, so I'll call to order the meeting of the Clintonville Area Commission Zoning and Variance Committee. I just got an email from Doug Boyd saying he's ill, he can't be here, and I need to double check. I can go off and see if he sent something in, and if he did, it was a while ago. I will look for that and get it to you. We have, first thing on the agenda is consider the draft minutes from the previous meeting. Does that, oh, by the way, we do have, if you want, there's a paper copy of the agenda we sent out, right there if you want it. If you haven't had a chance to look at the minutes, if so, do you have any corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve it? Have a second? If I can just go around to make sure I know there may be some abstentions. Abstaining? Yes.
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 And the chair votes yes, so that I make sure I get it. That's 5-0. Okay. 0-2.
Yeah.
Now on to this next item on the agenda. I want to make sure that I didn't get any. Which one is first? It's Kenworth Road. See if,
You have a motion to approve the agenda.
oh, do I have any? Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have any objections to the agenda? Okay, approved without comment. Approved without dissent. Okay, I'm sorry. It's been a long day, a long few days. On to BZA 25051, 260 West Kenworth Road, to construct a garage addition. The applicant seeks a variance to increase the area of an attached garage from 720 square feet to 968 square feet. Pull this down, and pull up the application. I should have these in order. There's one thing, do I have the applicant here for Kenworth? Yes, yes, hi. The way we do things is, you get a presentation, if you're a commissioner here, they would have a chance to speak. Then we ask you questions that any member of the public, which apparently, we just have the other applicant here, but any member of the public can talk. And then it comes back to the committee for discussion and vote.
Okay.
Okay, so you have the floor, please give your name and then.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Scott Smith, Smith Construction and Development. I would be the contractor for the project. My clients are looking at adding a two-car garage to the left of their existing one, which is detached from their house. The two-car garage that we would add would actually connect the existing two-car with the house. The house does jet back quite a ways in the property, but a majority of the garage will be shielded from the house if you were to look from the street. So we feel that this would be beneficial for the homeowner, and that he could put a couple more cars in the garage, and they're not in the driveway, they're out on the street, to alleviate some additional cars at the end. So.
Does it look like you brought drawings with you?
I did. I actually brought a smaller set that I can pass around. That's a little bit easier. So this just shows the site plan of where the proposed garage would be, which is directly behind the house. These would be showing pictures of the existing house to the, so it would be in front of the side of the current garage is where we would be proposing to add the two-car. And this just gives a little bit better perspective of the location the new garage, which is directly behind the house. So when you're out onto the street, you won't even be able to see it. The design of the garage will be in custom with the rest of the property.
And if you send these to the chair of the commission, the vice chair, I think is going to be running it, before the meeting, they can put it up on the screen behind them as you talk.
Okay.
That's sometimes people like to do. That's an option that's not being required. So. If you have PDFs of these, you could, I know that Michael Hall was on our emails, if you could send them to him so we can make them part of the minutes.
Okay.
That way it makes it easy. Otherwise, I'm taking a picture of these with my phone and then turning it into a PDF and it doesn't look clear.
Got it.
You're a professional. Okay, do we have questions from the committee?
You have a larger version?
I do. This gives a little bit better perspective here. This is the actual garage that we're proposing on adding. We do have a little bit of an addition here that will connect the original house with the garage. But again, from the street, that garage is really going to be pretty much concealed. You're not going to be able to see it.
What's the existing?
This is the existing one. This is a detached garage, which is in line with the driveway.
So people are going to drive in and then turn?
Yeah, there'll be just a little bit of a turn. He does have some smaller vehicles that would maneuver in there just fine. But that helps clear off some cars in the driveway or the street that he currently would be utilizing. So.
And the city hasn't said a turning radius.
No, they haven't commented on that. I mean, I know that the architect had spent a lot of time with my client on maneuverability, and they seem to be fine with what's being proposed here. So, and I have been on site several times. We have kind of marked out the area, and it seems to be quite doable for their needs.
So
Yes.
the garage is a two-car garage with one single door?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. So when it's all finished, it'll be a four-bay garage with two doors.
What's upstairs?
Nothing. Yeah. But there is going to be a little bit of a breezeway that will be able to get them into the house.
What are those two below the breezeway? Okay.
Okay.
Those, yeah.
That's just showing like maneuverability.
I mean, looks like, is that part of that? Is that the house or the driveway? That,
This is-
where the angle is?
Yeah, this is part of the driveway.
I'm asking for those, looks like rooms.
Yeah, these would be new rooms that we added on to the house. Yeah, which basically would include a full bath, a laundry, and a storage area.
So that's gonna be added on to
To the back of the house.
breezeway.
Correct. Now, the breezeway will be completely enclosed. It will be a conditioned space.
So that's not all like better or anything?
No.
Yeah.
No, this is, it's just to keep them dry when they're bringing stuff in from the garage. So, and they currently have a laundry in the basement and has been getting a little bit order and just feels that it's better to have a full bath on the main level, bring the laundry upstairs, and while we can enjoy working on cars and stuff, we'll have a special space for it. So,
Part of that elevations, because I noticed the city was asking for elevations. Or
Yes.
you have some in there?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's hard to see only because it is concealed,
No, I know.
but it's a garage, basically. Now, the breezeway is going to be a board batten, to just tie the two structures together.
How close are you to the new structure to the neighbors? What's the neighbors?
We are actually following, well, the current house jets out a couple feet closer to the property line than what we're proposing. So we're getting more room than what's currently existing in the house. And that same thing in the rear, we're lining up with the back of the garage. So we're not trying to get any closer to the property line than what's already.
Maybe another variance.
Right.
The existing siding on the house, is that also board and batten?
It will probably all change to board and batten, just to have a nice cohesive look. Yeah.
Makes for a big wall there. Is that visible to the neighbor? No, nobody sees it?
No, there's, both sets of neighbors have fences, so it's very secluded in the back. Yeah, this part's probably the most interesting part of that, again, there's a fence that runs there, and there's one in the back here too, and it's just not gonna be real visible. And again, from the street, you're not gonna notice any change at all, other than the improvements on the front of the house.
So there's no windows on that side, from where the opposite is from the
This
house.
side, no, we'll have a door here, no windows in here.
One thing I suggest, before the commission meeting, if you could send in, unless I missed, if I missed this, I apologize. But
Sure.
I didn't see the screening form that I sent out, the very first email, the scheduling email I sent out.
Okay, I was confused because then I got an email saying, oh, something was meant for the other applicant, so I
Oh,
cracked
no.
overlooked
Okay,
it.
then I know. Then if you could send that, to, I guess, to me and Michael, that way we'll make sure the commissioners get it. That does sometimes help, that asks questions about how it fits in the neighborhood plan and how it affects neighbors. And it's really, it's designed to ask what questions you might hear from the commissioners in advance.
Okay, so that's going to be different than what we submitted to Columbus.
Yes, it's this is
For the
short.
neighborhood.
Okay.
This is, and I promise you, it's short and it's easy, it's not designed to be, it's designed not to be a burden.
Okay, and it's in one of the emails you have.
Yes, in fact, you can see what they did because it's in the most recent agenda email, you can see how what they did.
Okay.
It says it's a screen.
Okay.
A lot of yes and no questions.
And it's in the first big email I sent, not, sometimes I usually send out a quick email saying, I got it, here's the meeting, and then I send out a detailed email over the weekend.
Okay.
It's in that detailed email. Oh, that's it, keep passing this around. I think it's what you've seen it. And how, does the yard continue behind the house at all, behind the garage?
There's actually a fence, I don't know if it's neighbor's fence or what it is, it's literally like a foot behind the garage, so there's really nothing there.
So, did you just barely make the?
So is there?
No, not really. I mean, it's literally like 1 foot of something. I think there's just a little patch of grass right now, but we'll actually have to take down part of the fence to put up a structure and then the fence back.
Well, this is all very
Yeah,
Why is the variance for?
maybe the rear, maybe that's why they think garage.
I think it
Oh, it does. You have that 25%?
You mean the rear yard area, total rear yard area for the lot?
Right. Well, along more 50-point fence in the garage.
Yeah,
But
there's nothing
I mean,
wrong.
that's an interesting question on now attaching the garage to the house. Would not count currently because the garage is attached. So the rear yard is anything behind the existing structure, now you're attaching it to the main structure, what that's to the rear yard.
Right.
Good point.
If you know, they mention anything.
Did they mention anything about yard?
No, exactly, when I reached out to Columbus and submitted everything, they said, it looks like you just need an variance for the increased square footage of the garage.
If I guess is that.
Is there a site plan? There's always.
Well, I mean, we've got this and then what I had passed around here. And this obviously is easy to read on a larger computer, but this shows all the dimensions on the property.
And I would, it's the city's job to figure out what variances they need, and it's our job to rule on the variance that's before us. And my guess is, because the city people, when we perceive a mistake, sometimes there's a mistake, but usually they have a good reason for that. And my guess is that the rule is, because it's a garage, it doesn't, the rear yard starts behind the house.
Now the attachment house to the garage will no longer be considered attached.
But-
Is that due to the qualification of the garage as a rear yard?
My guess is the city. I wouldn't want to penalize the applicant for, if they're coming for this variance, and if the city can say.
That's why we have meetings.
Yes.
So far, I've been.
Maybe that's it, Brett. They need to have an explanation in case the commission asks, a week, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow. Ask why the rear yard variance doesn't, why the rear yard
Doesn't need it.
doesn't need a variance, because I would have thought, if I could be wrong, that behind the structure attached to the house, you would need a certain percentage of the yard. But my guess is the city got that right.
I've never seen it different. That's all I'm confused by. Because we have these, we have one number. So I'm just confused about when to analyze. If it's because of the, fine. I
I can try, I will do my best to get out, and then, I'll send it to our neighborhood liaison and say, could you please, we just had a question. That way, if it is a problem, they know in advance and they can deal with it. And the other nice thing I do is 2 weeks in advance, if the city tells you between now and the commission meeting that you need it, then you can add it to the commission. Add it to what
You
we're
won't
doing.
have to just have to come in.
And then I know when we first applied this, we don't have to listen to variances in meeting, I was going to chuckle at that, I'm like, you deal with this every day. I worked in about 5 or 6 different municipalities, I did not know everybody zoning.
But I'll ask,
Request the zoning review, I think it's an extra cost of $100, but if they
Yeah.
pay it, they will tell you.
Yeah, my clients kind of chuckle. The architect did do some research on it, and so we had submitted with his expertise on it, and they seem to concur that the size of the garage that would be the issue. It's outside of the regular zoning.
do you have any other questions from the committee? I double checked and there were no comments from
Can
the.
we don't, there's not a variance needed for being so close to the property line in the back, it doesn't count for garages.
I think it's different. I think it might be smaller for garages.
No, it's fire rating.
It's 5 feet in the back,
Yeah, I thought it.
How close is it to the property?
It said it's not enough to even.
Well, that's the defense.
But the property line should be associated with the fence.
That's the question, I think.
I mean, the existing garage outside of this is like literally on the property line. So.
Did they count it as grandfathered in because of the existing division?
Usually they advise you to get it directly while you're going
Right,
through the
that's
process.
Now, we are 5 foot, 5.18 feet for the breezeway and the new on the side yard, which is greater than one small section of the original house.
And how,
What about the back?
With the back is showing that it's pretty much on the property line. He doesn't have a specific dimension, but it's right at the line.
Is that very required to realize
I'm
whose
sorry.
fence is that?
I believe it's neighbor's fence. So that would indicate to me, I mean, it's literally right on the property line.
Would they have to think about the fence coming down and?
I mean, I know that my clients talked to all the neighbors around and no one seemed to have a problem. I said, we got notices of the application, so, I mean, no one called me up on it.
Mr. Hartwick, I would recommend that you place the burden on the applicant to follow up with zoning
okay.
because they have a relationship, they've been in contact. I don't think that should be your responsibility.
I mean, I know that the city is aware of, we're just lining up with what's currently there. So,
I have something that, as things get expanded, that it triggers, that it triggers the side out. Something that didn't before need a variance, needs a variance because it's being altered.
Yeah, they want you to bring it into compliance all at once.
The commission's gonna read these draft minutes, they're gonna see these questions, so they might ask you about it. That might be what they're asking the planner, just want to clarify, we see possibly the rear yard and a rear setback variance might be needed, but we don't know. We don't know that.
And does the neighbor understand that they may know the garage is changing, but do they understand that their fence is gonna have to come down for that?
yeah, we're running across that, and we'll be building a fence for them. So they'll actually get an upgrade.
I think I've asked their neighbor, just as I'd like to know, the burden, they'll be reporting to the committee at the meeting. If the commission asks, you might want to have an answer.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean, I know we had some discussions with the commission ahead of time, with the planner ahead of time. And, so, I thought it was more an issue too, with the garage in the back, but it seemed to be the case when we put the application, so. I'm kind of going off of what I'm told.
It should be open, it's actually not a site that shows that there's only a foot between the garage.
Well, they would have received the full scale size of this, so.
Right, it shows the existing garage, and therefore they made some assumptions that it's all in alignment with the existing garage, that is fine. But the existing garage may have been built prior to the code requirements for a greater space.
I mean, I can tell you from my experience working on other projects in Columbus District, we have put garages before without variances up to a property line, not a house, but the garage we have, so there must be a distinction, I guess, somewhere in Columbus going on that. But again, I don't know if that's by district, or if that's citywide, or how they do that. I can only speak to my personal experience in the areas of town.
And we give recommendations based on the variances they ask for, and the way the rules, at least the practice in the past has been, is if after the commission votes, additional variances are needed, they ask the commission chair whether it needs to be brought back in, and then should consult with me and the area commission decide whether the commission needs to hear it again. But that's only after it's gone to the commission. You can change anything you want to between now and the time you get to the commission, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Right.
So here's a case we did 2 years ago, Star, and it was to raise and rebuild a single unit dwelling and to reduce the rear yard from 25%.
But that's also dwelling, I don't know.
That's what I don't.
I think we've established that the committee doesn't know whether there's additional variances. And my suggestion is we establish that, so we move on from them unless people have something new to say I have issue.
So there's a vote contingent upon further information from the commission.
Right. Well, we're gonna write a recommendation based on what you submitted. If you go to the city and you say you need something more, then you go to the commission, then you let the commission know as absolutely as soon as possible. But the commission vice chair, Paul Letta, and me and Michael, normally just let me know, but I'm not gonna be here. Okay, do we have any other questions from the committee? And any comment, public comment? It comes back to here, I can put the chairperson motion on the table. Shall we recommend approval of increasing the square footage of the garage from 720 to 968 square feet? Do we have any discussion? Okay,
Even the meeting, the signing piece, we don't know what time they get too big.
so, no, we only vote on what's before us, and so we're not voting on the setback, we're not voting on anything else, we're voting on can you build a garage that's 968 square feet. All the other problems are, if they don't comply, that's his problem, not ours.
Well, just to clarify, the 968 would be the total existing plus the new one. It's not a new one that's 968, it's the
Well,
total.
a total garage of 968.
Yeah, I think 720 or something is the code limit within Progress, so we're a couple hundred square feet beyond.
But that's the variances from the rule, which is 720 to
Correct.
968.
Correct.
That's the only question. If he has other issues, then that either has to come before us or the commission. Yeah, the city would ask us to vote on what's before us, not on what's we might have before us. Is that what we usually take in training? So I'll start over.
Yes.
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 I'm going to abstain because I don't feel like we have all the information we should have.
Yeah. So I vote, the chair votes yes as well, so that's a recommendation of six approval to one, 6-0. You go before the commission, they'll send out an agenda, usually at least a few days before, it's usually after 8 o'clock, but if you don't show up until 8 o'clock, will be the one time they get the zoning agenda early.
Okay, and then the only thing I'm needing to get to you is a screening form, you call it?
Screening form, yes.
Form.
Yeah, yes, screening form, and the PDFs of the things you get, so you can send PDFs of what you screen.
Yeah, I thought that had been sent originally.
I will double check if you're, I thought that it was not in my folder for Kevin.
If not, I have no problem sending that to you.
I didn't see anything before everything I was
I'll do one last check for Kenworth to see if it's here. All my emails for Kenworth and look for attachments. I don't believe I got it. Maybe I apologize if I'm asking you to send it again.
No, you're fine, you're fine. Sometimes what I send doesn't send. And I'm just old enough that technologically I know enough to be dangerous, but it's not instantaneous for me to always do that.
Well, thank you for your time, and he'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, very good. I'll get that over to you guys by tomorrow, so.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
Next up is 21 Richards Road. And I will let you describe your application now, because let me pull that up here. That's the correction there. The applicant sent a couple of these draft changes. Our drawings, the variance, what exactly are you asking from?
I can explain it. So, Tony Kosick, architect on the 21 Richards Road addition for the gun use. The owner is sitting right next to me. This addition is sort of just to add more living space to the growing family and attach the garage. It's in the backyard between their detached garage and their house, where they currently don't have anything. The variances we're requesting are basically two, one's compounding off the other, but the existing garage side setback is 3 feet, and now that we're attaching the house to the garage, making it more functional for the owners, the zoning code requires a 5 feet setback for the existing garage. So we're looking for variance to keep the existing garage side setback at 3 feet where it currently stands, and compounding onto that, because that new side setback is 3 feet, the other variance requires 13'2" in total side yard for the combination of both. But now since the garage is attached, the 9'5" that is on the alley side and the 3 foot that is now the new smallest dimension of the side yard, makes 12 foot 5 inches. So basically you're asking for variance for reduction of that of 9 inches.
So the maximum side yard reduced the total side yard from 12 feet, 5 inches is what the code requires.
13 foot 2 is what code requires at the tightest points. And now because the garage is attached, that 3 foot is the smallest side setback, added to the 9 foot 5 at the corner of their house.
So what is the number, what is the new number?
12 foot 5,
So,
as opposed to the zoning 13 foot 2.
okay, so you want a reduction, you want a reduction from 13 feet, 2 inches to 12 feet, 5 inches?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure, those exact numbers get into that.
Yeah, you're looking for a reduction of 9 inches.
Thank you for making sure I understand. I'm going to put up your drawings. So we'll have it here.
Sort of sounds like how the last one should go.
Yes, so this is a sort of simplified site plan. You can see in dark gray the new addition, basically adding more living space for the owners and attaching that garage. What I was referring to, you can sort of see there, is that the garage at the very back, and I have copies if anyone wants to see them first, I apologize, they're small, but the existing garage and the existing house are sort of a constraining factor when attaching this addition, attaching it to the garage, is those existing boundary lines are sort of the problem now that it's attached. And that's what we're looking to get variance on.
Questions from the committee?
The city was asking for elevation.
Yes, they're on this as well, if you scroll down, it's the very bottom. So from the road, Richards Road, which is at that top image to the left, you won't be able to see this. It's meant to align roof peaks and roof pitch and conjoin at the also step down for the garage as well. Between the buildings is about 20 feet between the garage and the house. We're looking to have sort of complementary fiber cement that doesn't take away from the red brick 1929 house, and it's just, you know, basically plays in between the space to complement the red brick.
I received emails from neighbors supporting it from 35 Richards Road and 47 Richards Road. What's the next, what is the one, the neighbor that's here?
Right.
What is, have you what is the neighbor, you spoke of the neighbor that's right here?
I have not spoken to the neighbor right there. I could definitely, by the next meeting, talk to them and confirm that they are in writing okay with it. I know them well, so I don't actually should be able to talk to them. I have no doubt that they'll be in support of it.
If they could just send an email, if they send an email to me and Michael,
Okay.
then that way he can.
Yeah, I will absolutely obtain that before the next meeting.
Yeah.
Between the houses on the property, and there's two fences. The one on their side is very high. Maybe you have to see the roof pitch, but their backyard, the building ends at similar places, our backyard, and then the backyard declines, and then the primary space is more on the other side of their lot, between the two. I think it's a little over, it's 10 to 12 feet between the edges of the two houses. And with the new addition, we're looking to step back even further than the edge, so not encroach on that space, sort of moving back so we can align insulation and not, you know, encroach the garage. It's about, I think, 6 inches or so, maybe a foot further back. It's on that drawing. Yeah, it's 4 inches step back.
I did include myself on one of them, I don't know if it's this one or Kenwood, but and I got the letter on Friday, so. I don't know if I start doing that, so I know when people get that. So I know the notices went out and they could have written that. And it's absolutely not required, it's much, it's helpful, and usually getting variances to keep existing setbacks is a lot easier than getting new setbacks, but if you have an immediate neighbor who says, we're okay with it, then you're asking the commission to say, everyone around this area agrees with it, and it does change the dynamic.
I will say, yeah, they have a very tall tree and a very tall fence that are already there, so I don't think they could even see the house if they were trying to. So.
Any other questions from the committee before I put the?
Where's the driveway and getting now there's garage?
The driveway basically extends, sort of, it's in pavement, it extends right to the alley. So it's a straight, you can turn off the alley.
It looks green.
Sorry, that's kind of funny because of the last zoning, that's showing the rear side yard approved by the city over 25%. Because it's a corner lot, is a different condition, but that green is just to denote.
So there's not going to be any different problems?
No, non-moving problems, and we still meet the rear setback, so you do need a variance on that, and I worked with the city on that to make sure that was correct.
I'll try to encourage the commissioners to please drive by.
And I did, but
Maybe it looked like
You gotta go up to the
it looks like grass.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant before we put on the table for a quick app? No commissioners report. Kenworth, there is no commissioner in this district right now.
Well, this is not.
This is District 2. Oh, no, District 6.
This is 4 or 5.
4, no, there is no commissioner. It'll be 4. I found out 4. I'll have to tell you.
Bonus points if you know the district you're in.
It's on the drawing. Off the top of my head.
I'm not even on the floor.
Any other questions for the applicant from the committee? Then I will put on the table a recommendation, a motion to approve, to recommend approval of reducing the eastern side yard from 5 feet to 3 feet, and for on the maximum side yard required, to reduce the total side yard from 13 feet 2 inches to 12 feet 5 inches. Do we have? No, there'll be a second. Do we have any discussion?
This is a really odd shaped lot. I think that should be on that.
I agree, I was going to make the exact same comment. This is an awkward shaped lot. They're working with the existing setbacks, really just almost bringing into compliance with existing setbacks.
If that's a current vote, we can give you an explanation if you want.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm going to vote yes with this similar explanation. This is on an alley, it's not, I don't see how this is going to disturb the neighbor. The alley access, it still looks fine. And it's an odd shaped lot, and they're just trying to keep lines where they are and expand. Okay, so it goes before, you heard it goes before the commission next, in 2 weeks, a week from tomorrow. Do you have any other questions from us? Okay, well then, thank you so much. Thank you for taking care of your house and trying to make it better, and have a good evening. And I'm going to announce the next area commission, the Clintonville Area Commission is July 10th, not July 3rd, at the Whetstone Library. The next meeting, our meeting is July 30th, 2020. Same place, same time. Any objection to adjournment? Without objection, adjourn at 7:40 p.m.
With the actors,